Hello, my name is Adam, and I work for the Youth Gambling Awareness Program here in Niagara. Thank you for joining me and my coworkers today as we answer some of our most asked questions from parents and professionals across Ontario. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining our question period today. So today we're going to be answering some questions that we often get during some of our presentations.
Yeah, to start, let's give the audience a quick explanation of our program. So at YGap, we run educational workshops focused on healthy living and harm reduction across Ontario in both English and French.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Sarah.
Awesome job. We actually offer a number of interactive workshops related to gambling, gaming, stigma, financial literacy, and even media literacy. And we start with youth as young as 8 years old.
Yeah, perfect. So now that we have a little bit of background information on us and the program, let's ask our first question. So what is YGAP's perspective when we talk about gambling?
Yeah, that's a great question. So at YGAP, we are gambling neutral, meaning that we're not for or against gambling. Having this neutral stance really allows us to discuss both the positives and the negatives in regards to gambling. We don't make value judgments regarding gambling, rather we see it as an activity people may or may not choose to engage in.
Well said, Sarah. We also want to provide a balanced perspective, which means it is important for us to look at all perspectives. We aim to offer accurate information so everyone can make their own informed choices around gambling and other high-risk activities.
Yeah, definitely. And ultimately, right, we do this to offer what we call a harm reduction approach. The primary objective of harm reduction is to reduce the harmful consequences associated with gambling rather than the complete avoidance of gambling. Anyone who gambles may be at risk of developing problems. And these harmful consequences are not only limited to disordered or problem gambling, but may also affect recreational gambling on occasions. So when we talk about harm reduction, some of the strategies we focus on are setting money and time limits, treating gambling as entertainment and not as a way of making money or paying debts, and lastly, balancing gambling with other leisure activities.
That's a fantastic answer, Sarah. I also want to discuss with our audience that have you guys ever put on a seatbelt when you're in a car and you're driving? Or have you ever put sunscreen on when you're going to be out in the sun all day long? Those are perfect examples of harm reduction strategies that we do every single day.
Definitely. Great answers, everyone.
Perfect. So I have our next question here, and this is from one of the youth that we've had in our presentations, and he asked, my friend plays video games, but is it possible that there can be gambling elements in video games?
Yes, so absolutely. There are multiple ways that folks can gamble in video games. Some games have monetized gambling through things like loot boxes and card packs, and there are also simulated gambling opportunities through casinos that show up in video games like in Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting as gambling can actually show up in many different types of games. Let's use FIFA as an example. So it's actually a game marketed towards youth, but there are opportunities to purchase FIFA points like votes and packs, which are virtual in-game packs that can be purchased that contain randomized content like players and club items. This could be considered as a form of gambling because you're risking something of value and you're not actually guaranteed to get the item that you actually want.
I actually didn't know that. I guess it really goes to show that gambling is something we should really be talking about with everyone, including youth.
Exactly, it does. So another question we have here is, as we talked about our approach, we talk about how YGAP is not in support or against gambling. What are some ways that we can stay safe if we do choose to gamble?
Great question, Christy. If, for example, we are gambling by buying FIFA packs, we can set a price limit such as only allowing ourselves to spend $20 and then stopping once we hit the limit, even if we didn't get the item that we wanted. We can also make sure that we have budgeted this money from our entertainment budget so we aren't risking anything that we are not okay to lose. Lastly, we can remember that game packs are chance-based, so we are never guaranteed a certain outcome.
Definitely. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. And our last question here is, who can we contact if we ever need to talk to someone about gaming or gambling behaviors?
Yeah, that's a really important question to ask. So you can always call the Kids Help Phone. You can get free and confidential help from them, and the number is 1-800-668-6868.
Definitely. And you can also contact Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit their website, www.connexontario.ca. That's Connex, CONNEX, Ontario.ca.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining today. We hope that you learned something. today and also had a little bit of fun while doing it, have a fantastic rest of your day or afternoon.